Augustus Kargbo out for 12 long weeks, that's right, as Rovers try to navigate the difficult festive period. What am I talking about? Well, I'll tell you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today we take a look at Augustus Kargbo and, of course, his state of play in the Blackburn Rovers squad. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and one-stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Championship football. Woo! Football, we're going to all here under one Ruski. That's right, the Sierra Leone winger, of course, had a stop-start to his campaign here at Blackburn Rovers. And, of course, now he's out for 12 weeks, which puts him in the back burner. What do I mean by that? Well, I'll tell you in a second. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash that subscribe, boys and girls. We're trying to get up to 30 likes. Please do us a favor, smash that like button, as of course we try to get the YouTube algorithm working for you and for the channel itself. But anyway, let's talk about Kargbo. Is he a major loss for Rovers, or of course is it advantage other team members of the Blackburn Rovers squad? The news broke earlier or shortly. When did it break? Before the game. Kargbo out for 3 months, 12 weeks. Is it going to be? Is that something we're going to miss, John?
No.
Are you asking?
John, you go first. Well, you know,
No, I mean, I wax lyrical about the guy when he first joined us. He was like a breath of fresh air. I think I even likened him to somebody like Scott Sellers, where he's got pace, he's got really close control, and I was excited to see more of him. But no, unfortunately for me, he's not quite done it recently. Every time he's come on, he's not had the same impact. I think there's potential there. I really, really do. I'm going to stick by my guns and say that I think he can do well. Is he a big miss at this moment in time? No. I think Cantwell's the bigger miss out of everybody. So, you know, I'd much prefer to have him on the bench and what have you. Well, maybe even starting, because there's a couple of players which I'm sure we're going to come to soon that, unfortunately, whilst I had really high hopes for them and, you know, justification pre-season and some of the early games, look really, really good. But no, Kargbo has been a little bit of a disappointment. He's a little bit hit and miss for me. He's got some pace, but he's just, for me, I guess to summarise, he's lacking confidence. He's got a ton of ability. He's got a ton of speed. He just needs to believe in himself. He needs to back himself. And the minute he starts backing himself, I think we've got a player there.
Yeah, David, do you agree? I think that could be said for a lot of players at Rovers lacking confidence right now. But, you know, he did score not too long ago, if my memory serves me, right? He did.
Yeah. Guys first.
He got Stoke on it, and it was sad to see him not celebrate because of all the abuse he got. So that was a bit. I remember being like, you don't want players being like that, do you? You want them to enjoy scoring and being a part of the club. And when he didn't do that, it was like, you know, it's not a great sign. But no, I do agree with John T. It's just, but then at the same time, it's the reason why it's a lot of players like this is because this is why we signed them. This is why they've been on the cheap, because there are these things in their games that are missing. This is why they're not already at your top clubs or on the fringes. You know, they are. We'll sell him for cheap because he doesn't have this. And what our job is now as Blackburn Rovers is to develop these areas to make them into good players. The potential's there. And with Kargbo, it's just decision making. It's just knowing when to use his pace, when to, you know, take his little touches, because he'll just do the wrong thing at the wrong time and we'll lose the ball. You know, he'll take a shot when he isn't supposed to take a shot. He'll try and take a player on when the player's ready to make the run. He'll try and dribble it when there's 3-4 bodies there and it's not come off, you know. But as soon as that we get that, everything else around him, he'll be a quality player, and I do hope he comes good. But like I said, confidence is key. He didn't, you know, all the abuse that he got for that. He's like, look, players are going to make mistakes. Yes, he didn't track back his run for that goal that we conceded, but you know, Cine Tavares, he lost the ball initially. It was like I think it was a poor pass, wasn't it, from the corner? That's what conceded. I can't remember what game it was. Swansea, I think. But yeah, when he scored that goal and didn't celebrate, really like that. That can't be. As fans, you can't have our players not enjoying playing for the shirt, you know. So we have a player there. Just got to give him time, along with the others who we've signed these players. Hopefully, we can develop these areas. And they're not all going to be, you know, they're not all going to work. Unfortunately, that's just the nature of it. But this is a gamble we've taken. We're going to sign these players on the cheap and try and develop them. And hopefully, Kargbo's one of them. Well, I think because when he came on that first time against Wolves and he was causing havoc down that wing, he was the shining light in that game. We had Dennis on and stuff like that who didn't do much, but we had Kargbo and he looked like he was causing problems for Wolves, and that's a Premier League outfit. I know they're not doing well at the minute, but we have a player there. We just need to fine tune him, and hopefully we'll get them all singing on the same hymn sheet.
Yeah.
Do you think that on that note, do you think Tyrese Dolan's kicking himself for leaving Rovers? Because as far as
he's
I'm
doing
aware,
well.
he's
No chance.
he's played one game, hasn't he, for
No. They're
No.
flying high. Espanyol are top 5 in La Liga.
Yeah. And he's playing well, and the fans are loving him. And
He's not missing us, Jonathan.
He's like, Blackburn who? Blackburn who? Like, what?
Is he playing every game then?
Yeah.
he's playing.
Really?
Yeah. He's doing well. So, yeah, he's not. He's in the sunshine in Spain. He's not. I don't think he's going. You know what? I want to be in a relegation battle in the.
Yeah, no, I was more about the football than the actual weather because there's a lot of places I prefer to be. But no, I've been given misinformation because somebody that I spoke to the other day, Sheffield United game, they're like saying Tyrese Dolan is not even starting at Espanyol. But no, I've not followed it, so I'll stand corrected. But no, that was just misinformation.
So with Kargbo being out for 12 weeks, who's the biggest benefactor in that? Do you see, Jacob? Like if he was starting on the left-hand side, maybe, or
Well, he wasn't though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He were getting brought on up front in his last appearance, weren't he, Dirk?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, I think he started the season quite well, but he just completely fell off. I think whenever he had started this season, he underwhelmed, and I think that's what I'd just say overall with his time with us. Unfortunately, he's had spells, but I think unfortunately he's been underwhelming. He's got the pace there, but I think in terms of people who are benefiting from his injury, I don't know. I like I said, he wasn't exactly knocking on the door to get into the team, in my opinion. I think I think it was against Swansea, Denver. When you're not running back, when he's got the pace he has to win the ball back after you've lost it, it's unacceptable. Just strolling back. I don't even think he was strolling. I think just stood there basically and just watched it go in. You can't have that, and I think that might be something to do with the reason why Sydney's been dropped as well. Because I think there was a fault for that, and then there was it Stoke maybe he was at fault as well for a corner, then we ended up conceding from something like that, and you can't be doing that at this level, looking away points. So I think if you're looking at the players, obviously Denise managed to get into the team, so I think Denise he would have been below Kargbo in the pecking order at the start of the season, but he's managed to get in and he's doing well at the minute. I think fans were turned on Ishmael after he got subbed off the other night. They weren't happy about that because he had done really well, but then again, I thought Hedges come on, to be fair, and did really well as well. So he looks a different player under Valley. He's one of few players who've, actually improved under Val so far. Hedges, I thought he was brilliant when he come on. And then
Agreed, and I think
I
I
guess
think
it's
that's.
Morris Shitter as well kind of benefits a little, but I don't know where I am with him at the minute.
I
Sorry,
think it's
Jonathan.
ironic that a load of Rovers fans were singing "You don't know what you're doing" at 1-0 down, brings on a couple of subs, and we end up winning 2-1 sort of thing. So that's more testament to the managers than it is to the actual players sort of thing. Morishita, yeah, I'm lost with that guy. Unfortunately, I think. Yeah, I think he's really, really struggling in this league. Really struggling. Maybe Dirk, stop me if we've not got to that bit yet. But yeah, I'm and Yuki to a certain extent. Yuki against Sheffield United. Out of all the players, every single player on the pitch wearing a Blackburn Rovers shirt, for me, he was the least deserving player to score. Everybody else have put a really, really good shift in during the first half, playing pretty decent football. And Yuki, and it pains me to say it, I take no pleasure in saying this, struggled the most, and yet he got the goal out of it. And yet your other man, Good Johnson, I thought he deserved that goal, or to score it, sort of thing that would have got him off the mark. So maybe I've peaked too soon, story of my life, but yes.
Not necessarily. Holmesy, where's your mind at with Kargbo here? We're going to move on to a handful of players. I've only got a handful of players in a second, but if we were to grade Kargbo's season, I know it's a short season so far, out of 10, what would you give him?
5. He's just been, they're almost there, backwards again. I think a 5. And I mean, in fairness to all of the players, there's not many that are getting over 6 or 7. But yeah, I think 5. He's hasn't really shone. Not many players have shone really. So it's just been one of those. He's still got a lot to prove in a Blackburn Rovers shirt, I think, and I hope he can because we need a squad. It's a long season. Gonna need people firing at different times. So I hope he can fulfill his potential. But I think really, really up till this point, average.
Appreciate that, guys. Thanks again for your input, and again, appreciate your loving as well on the channel. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Smash that like. We're trying up to 30 likes for these videos, so please help us out in that regard. But again, we'll be back very, very soon for some more action regarding Blackburn Rovers. Until then, we're done.